Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be exploring a truly profound shift in how we perceive the world around us. Today, we're unpacking the core philosophy of Osman, who you probably know as the Blind Muslim Yogi. Now, just to give you a little context if you're new to his work, Osman is a master-level bioenergy healer. He utilizes quantum and entanglement principles for telepathic healing, specializing in things like critical care, recovery, and terminal illnesses. We're talking about someone who has practiced advanced healing, yoga, and meditation for 50 years, and actually attained his first samadhi experience by the age of 19. It's incredible. His whole mission is to simplify these ancient sciences into a very practical, scientific approach for modern life. And he always reminds people, you can grab his free 5-minute yoga and meditation program over at yogawellness786.com. What's so fascinating about his approach today is how he uses nature. Not just as, a pretty backdrop for a weekend hike, but as an absolutely powerful daily mental tool. He teaches us that even when we are completely trapped in the concrete jungle, nature is constantly offering us an escape hatch to recalibrate our entire state of mind.
So imagine waking up in the absolute dead of night. It's 3 a.m., the world is completely dark, and the city is eerily quiet. For Osman, this exact moment became a huge catalyst. Now, it's really important to keep in mind throughout this explainer that Osman has been permanently blind since May 2023. So whenever he describes things visually in his videos, he's actually drawing on his rich memories from when he had normal eyesight and combining them with his highly attuned remaining senses. Anyway, lying there at 3 a.m., he heard this beautiful, distant chirping of a single bird. Now, let's be real, most of us would just roll over, pull the pillow over our heads, and maybe even get a little annoyed. But Osman paid attention. He tuned into that rich, pure sound. As he describes it, just absorbing the beauty of that tiny creature going about its life completely altered the trajectory of his day. It filled him with an amazing positivity that lasted well into the afternoon. But here is the catch. It only worked because he was actively looking out for it. Nature is constantly broadcasting, but we have to tune our receivers to catch the signal.
There is such a stark contrast between how we live and how nature lives. Think about the human urban state for a second. Most of us operate in a highly stressed beta state. We micromanage our lives, and because we are so hyper-focused inward, every tiny little problem gets magnified. We honestly think we have the biggest problems on the planet. But the natural state? It's entirely different. It's instinct-driven, it's calm, and above all, it is incredibly consistent. That bird isn't waking up at 3 a.m. crying about being depressed or lonely, right? It's just doing its work synchronously and beautifully. And Osman points out that this disconnect is dangerous. He explains that things like cancer and severe ailments are often a direct result of modern lifestyles completely depleting our natural energies. The natural state is what we desperately need to get back to.
It is absolutely crucial to understand why we need this natural state so desperately. Let's look at the urban toll. We live in environments where massive populations are just physically crammed together. And this physical cramping leads directly to mental cramping and high frustration. We're breathing in exhaust fumes, which deteriorates our physical health. But from a yogic science perspective, there's also a severe energetic toll. When you pack millions of stressed, negative, beta-state humans together, there's a literal toxic exchange of negative energy. We embody that stress. To break that cycle, we have to extract ourselves. Osman explains that natural spirituality and yoga protocols actually replenish this lost energy. In fact, he mentions that his own 90% success rate with clients isn't extraordinary at all. It's completely normal. Because when you follow these protocols, your natural energy improves, naturally boosting your immunity by 90% without even needing external energy healing.
And really, what is more radically different from human anxiety than the sun? Think about this for a second. Tomorrow's sunrise is at 6:13, and at exactly 6:13, the sun will be there. It's never late, it never sleeps in, it never has an existential crisis or complains about a bad commute. It has literally been doing its duty, rotating and performing its function, year in, year out for eons. When we observe this, when we really stop to appreciate the unbothered rhythm of the cosmos, we realize that, hey, we aren't the center of the universe. The sun provides a masterclass in consistency and efficiency that we can learn from and anchor our chaotic minds to.
This brings us to a really beautiful concept, instinctual living. According to the scientific approach to yogic sciences that Osman practices, nature is filled with pure energy. Why? Well, because plants, trees, and animals do not sit around thinking negative, stressful thoughts. They don't project negative auras. They operate purely on instinct. They are cool, calm, and collected, completely free from the abstract anxieties that totally plague the human mind. By connecting with them, we aren't just looking at pretty scenery. We are actively tapping into a vital source of pure, calming energy.
We are basically borrowing their stillness. To really drive this point home, Osman shares an incredible anecdote from South Africa. He actually went on a game drive in an open vehicle to see wild lions. Now, his immediate human reaction was pure fear. He was thinking, are these people crazy? The lion is just going to treat me like its next meal. But the guide explained a fundamental truth about natural instinct. Lions are well fed in that reserve, and they only hunt when they are hungry. They do not hunt out of malice or spite or anxiety. Even a fearsome predator operates on a baseline of calm instinct. Realizing this completely shifted Osman's perspective on danger and fear, showing him that human assumptions almost always project chaos onto a naturally orderly world.
So Osman's realization in South Africa was really just the beginning of a remarkable journey of physical and mental adaptation. From encountering wild lions, he moved to the extreme blistering heat of Dubai and later on to the freezing, snowy winters of Turkey. This isn't just a fun travel itinerary, right? It is a progression of immense mental resilience. He used the exact same mindset of connecting with nature to conquer completely opposing climates.
When Osman first arrived in Dubai, it was early November. It was around 33 degrees Celsius, and he was already incredibly hot. Locals kind of mocked him, warning him about the true summer when it hits 40 or even 50 degrees Celsius, a sheer intense heat where your shoes supposedly fill with sweat. And when that 50-degree summer finally arrived, stepping outdoors felt like a gush of hot air hitting him directly in the face. He felt like he was literally being fried alive. The environment was harsh, extreme, and totally physically overwhelming.
But this is where it gets brilliant, and it perfectly illustrates the power of the mind. Instead of fighting the heat and being miserable, Osman had a witty, life-changing revelation. He told himself, it feels like a sauna, and this is a free sauna. By simply reframing the extreme heat as a luxurious, relaxing sauna experience, which, let's be honest, people eagerly pay good money for, he transformed his suffering into a pleasant sensation. Because he chose to view it as enjoyable, his body actually relaxed. He accepted the sweat. And from that single moment of brilliant reframing onward, the brutal Dubai summer never affected him negatively again. No way. He owned it.
What Osman did there wasn't magic. It was a highly replicable adaptation process. First, he acknowledged the extreme environment. He didn't pretend it wasn't incredibly hot. Second, he reframed the narrative positively, embracing the free sauna idea. Third, he allowed his body the time to actually adjust over a couple of years. And finally, he actively found enjoyment in the sensation. He proved this works universally when he later moved to Turkey post-COVID. He had barely any money and was facing a freezing winter, experiencing snow for the first time as an adult. But instead of panicking, he applied this exact same process. He felt the soft flakes building up on his jacket, appreciated the beautiful white landscape, and found immense joy in the freezing cold, while everyone else around him was completely miserable. It just goes to show, our perception entirely dictates our reality.
Now, you might be thinking, well, that's great for someone hiking in the snow or going on an African safari. But Osman emphasizes that nature is always reaching out to your senses no matter where you are. And his perspective here is so incredibly powerful because, as we mentioned earlier, he has been completely blind since 2023. He often says, I'm blind, I can't go on my own, I need someone to take me. Yet he never ever uses that as an excuse to disconnect. His profound connection to the earth is highly sensory. It's auditory, it's tactile. This proves that these techniques are completely accessible to you right now, even if you are entirely immobile or stuck on the 10th floor of a massive city apartment building. You really don't need a grand outdoor excursion to tap into instinctual living. Think about these simple, everyday natural connections Osman relies on. Just taking a second to truly listen to how powerful the wind sounds, rather than ignoring it as background noise. Feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin. Paying attention to a dog barking in the distance, or even hearing the crow of a morning rooster, which amazingly you can still sometimes hear piercing through the noise of an urban environment. Nature is constantly visiting us in the city. We just have to stop looking microscopically at our own little human problems long enough to notice it.
So, the crucial point is how you actually put this into practice today. Osman highly recommends finding just 15 to 20 minutes a day to sit outdoors or even just by an open window to safely absorb the morning sun. Ideally between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. before the UV rays get too harsh. You don't even have to be doing formal breath work or a complex yoga routine. Just sit there, enjoy the warmth, absorb the physical health benefits, but more importantly, consciously connect with the energy of the sun. Now, it's worth noting here that Osman does offer complimentary services to enhance medical care, not replace it, but enhance it. Because of his extensive study and rigorous practice, sometimes up to 18 hours daily, he does charge high fees for his exclusive premium energy healing. But he does not withhold information. You can access his Patreon for live daily videos, online lessons, and one-on-ones, or just head to his free YouTube channel where he gives away unique advice and techniques completely for free. It's all about helping you replenish that vital energy that our modern, stress lifestyles constantly deplete.
By stepping outside our human-centric beta state and embracing the energy of the natural world, whether that's a chirping bird at 3 a.m., a free sauna in the summer heat, or just 15 minutes of morning sun, we can drastically increase the quality and fulfillment of our lives. It's all about shifting your perspective. So I want to leave you with this question as we wrap up today's explainer. How will you reframe your environment today? What small piece of nature's unbothered rhythm can you tune into right now to change the entire trajectory of your day? Think about it. And hey, if you want to learn more and really dive into this scientific approach to life, make sure you listen to his podcast on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify by searching for the Blind Muslim Yogi. Give it a follow and definitely like and subscribe to his YouTube channel so he can continue his mission of spreading this incredible ancient science. Until next time, keep exploring.